Baseball is back, and the first pitch is on Netflix. The New York Yankees, led by 7-time All-Star Aaron Judge, head to the San Francisco Bay to take on Rafael Devers' San Francisco Giants. This season kicks off with one exclusive opening night game. Watch MLB Opening Night, the New York Yankees versus the San Francisco Giants, live on Netflix. Wednesday, March 25th at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific.
Spring starts at the Home Depot, and we are bringing the heat to your backyard this season. Fire up the flavor with our wide variety of grills for under $300, like the Next Grill 4-burner gas grill that's perfect for hosting your spring cookout. Then set the scene and turn your outdoor space into the go-to spot with patio sets for every budget. Bring it this season with grills that deliver flavor and patios that set the vibe from the Home Depot. Start your spring with low prices guaranteed at the Home Depot. Exclusions apply. See homedepot.com/price match for details.
Protein is now at Starbucks, and it's never tasted so good. You can add protein cold foam to your favorite drink or try one of our new protein lattes or matcha. Try it today at Starbucks.
Chris Cody, are you expecting Amin today? Because I thought he was doing the show with us today, and I thought I wasn't doing the show today. I was at jury duty, and I ran out of there.
Jury duty?
Why are you making that sound?
You don't need to do that.
What do you mean I don't need to do that?
I've never done jury duty.
What?
Have you been summoned?
I don't know. If I have, I threw it in the garbage.
What are you doing?
What do you mean, what am I doing?
It's a civic duty, responsibility, and honor. To be a jury of your peers is a symbol of freedom. What are you doing?
So I have to go sit on a jury instead of doing things that I want to do? Sounds like a sucka move.
Or that I thought it was a civic duty, and you just don't show up, and there's been no consequences.
I'm right here living my life, Dan.
What are they going to do, Dan?
What are they? Seriously, what are they going to do?
You're going to ask this government
If you ever got the letter, you could see what they would threaten to do at the very least. But
here I am.
I don't think it's certified mail, so you can always say never got it.
That's right.
It comes down to the character of the man.
Yeah.
Put it, or woman, put it on the poll at Le Batard Show.
I'm an ally.
That was really helpful there, and hateful from Mike. No one knew what he was talking about, so I'm glad we stepped up.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Are there any consequences to not going to jury duty? Because if there aren't consequences, nobody would go.
Okay, but am I not living proof?
Well, I don't know how many times you've gotten something that you've actually thrown in the mail, thrown in the garbage can. I don't know. The notice looks very official, and they do threaten you with a fine.
Yeah, but hold on a second. So I just purchased a house, and they send you so much crap in the mail that it's like, if you don't pay this, you're going to be in really big trouble. You know what I do? Rip it up and throw it away. Because half of it is an absolute scam. The other half may be different, but I don't know.
Yeah, where does it say that the stuff that comes in my mailbox I have to open?
And good luck calling me for anything. 100% of my calls, they got to be scam. I'm never answering the phone ever again. Right. Never.
Put it on the poll at Le Batard Show. Have you gone weeks lately without answering your phone? Because I don't use my phone as a phone anymore. It's a computer. But when you mention mail, you guys will like this update from my leading the local news squatter story. I went by the house yesterday that had that squatter in it. 7 packages he had delivered to the front of the house.
Is he my wife?
While he's in jail. One of them...
Did you open them?
One of them, a saw of some sort.
Oh, Jesus. Luckily you got him. Who knows?
He was planning on doing a lot of stuff to the house, apparently.
You need to do some work on the house, Dan?
Yeah, some renovating.
There were some under cabinet lights. There was all sorts of stuff. Look, man, I avoided a terrible situation, I'm thinking, by very little amount of time. Because once he changes the doorknobs and he's got the keys to the house, I'm talking to the officer and I no longer have the keys to my own house. Like that. And he had the doorknobs already. Like he was planning a full-scale renovation.
Yeah, I don't know how much I'm allowed to talk about this because there are victims here, and I want to be careful of that. I'm very mindful of that. But also, squatters' rights is one of those FAFO things. I know that they're technically protected by law. I'd test that. I'd drag somebody out to the lawn and let's see who the law decides was right
what's
here.
what.
Or I just take off the doors and say, I'm sorry, I'm making some renovations.
Purdue was a number 1 seed as
Kirk Cousins look like J.C. Penney.
Looks like it's back, Jack. It's bracket time, so make a chart. Does Jeff Van Gundy look just like the Queen of Hearts? Does Adam Silver look like a torpedo bat? Let's get March Sadness back on track. Looks like it's back, Jack. When the donuts are in front of you, does Andy Reid say, don't mind if I do? Adam Silver looks like a Q-tip thing, or frying a bag of onion rings. When Timmy laughs until he has, that's how you know that looks like his back, Jack. Let me hear you say, looks like his back, Jack. Let's keep on doing it every year. So Adnan says, Mr. Bond, welcome to Tangier. Jeff Fisher looks like shotgunning beers at a NASCAR track. If you say this game's the best, I'll say it's a gag. Looks like his back, Jack.
Northwestern is gone from the tournament.
Jim Harbaugh looks like a casket salesman.
Fairleigh Dickinson, 16 seed, repped by
Mike McDaniel looked like a college student on a full ride scholarship for esports.
What a run.
Looks like his back, Jack.
they were down 4 points with 52 seconds left. I really fell in love with that basketball team because of how tough that basketball team is for the University of Miami. And they end up losing to Purdue. And the reason they lose to Purdue, Zaz, is because while they were going 1 for 8 from 3 at the start of the second half, Purdue's shooting 75% from 3 for the second half after losing their three-point shooter to an injury. Purdue was ripe to be taken down. They played a very poor game for Purdue. Miami forced them into some of that, but they lost Cox, a player that they needed, but they just kept making threes, and they crushed Miami. The best season in terms of feel good, I think, that Miami has ever had, even though it didn't go as deep as some other seasons have gone, because it's the biggest turnaround in Division I history. Last season was the worst season in program history, and they turned it around, and it's the biggest turnaround ever, and I really grew to like that basketball team, and they just got beat by randomness at the end.
Oh, I don't think it was randomness. I thought Purdue executed at a much higher level, and they were better, which is, they were the number 2 seed for a reason. They had a little midseason hiccup and found their form in the tournament. They killed Miami on those high screens, and I thought Jay Lucas did the right thing in having Shelton Henderson try to guard the Big Ten's all-time leading assist leader, and he just ate them up. Miami had no answers for it all game long. It helps that they had a shooting guard that flatly did not miss, but there's no taking away the feel good from this season. That was the single greatest one-year turnaround in that sport's history. Beyond proud and excited for next year with a 5-star coming in and proof of concept to show the entirety of the transfer portal. Miami's headed in a great direction.
It'll be fun to watch Henderson's growth once he learns to shoot, because he is still young. And you learn in some of these games that these guys are just learning how to play basketball. The defense of Florida, we can give Iowa the credit for a really wonderful play with 8 seconds left. But Florida can't allow that to happen that way. And then the end of the St. John's game, it's just people learning how to play basketball that we're treating like professionals. Can you guys tell me Did they start this year with the halftime interviews of players? Because we're treating them like professionals, and they're all just learning how to play basketball, even though some of them are making $2 million a year. But I have found strange watching players interviewed during the game. They started doing some of that in college football last year. When did this start happening? Like, when were player interviews part of the media package? Did it come with the pay?
I reached out to an SID because I had never seen it before. Now, granted, I just jumped back in because the last 2 seasons of Miami Hurricanes basketball, it really crushed my passion for the sport. But they've replaced coaching interviews at halftime with player interviews. I'd never seen it before. It's all new access for the NCAA tournament.
So when Mike says, though, Zaz, look, Purdue is better. They're the 2 seed, and their execution was great. But even with what I told you, Miami 1 for 8 from 3, and Purdue 75% from 3 in the second half. They're still down 4 with 50 seconds left.
Yeah, and the three-point shooting, the free throws as well. Too many fouls. Purdue was on the free throw line a lot. I thought late in the first half, I'm watching, Canes are going to win this game. They were up by, I think, 7 at the time. Just so physical, and they just couldn't make shots.
Miami was more athletic than them, but Purdue, undersized on the perimeter, still found a way to stay in front of the opposing player. Miami didn't feel comfortable really attacking the basket. It was weird. They're looking for fouls, but they're also looking for contact, and they're terrified to go to the line. Malik Renew, who I think we have a photo of him at the concessions
so funny
in full uniform here at the concourse. By all accounts, was super nice to anybody that approached him in full uniform, waiting for some pizza in the concourse. You don't really see that often.
Not big time in anyone, just waiting his turn.
Yeah, he was a little timid, which we saw a little bit of that in the first half against Mizzou as well. I think ultimately just ran into a team that's better, and this is year 1 with Jay Lucas building. It's a bummer, but Purdue kicked their ass in that second half, and I think at a certain point you got to tip your hat to the opponent.
That first 6 minutes of the game against Missouri was brutal. It was a brutal stretch of basketball. Miss, clank off the backboard. Missouri get it, turnover. Miami got it, clank off the backboard. Missouri got it, put it in the stands. We knew what this Miami team was. It was a muck-it-up kind of team. They're not a fast-paced team. They're not a team that can shoot. And you talk about it, Dan, 1 for 8 in the second half, and they went, 75%, whatever that was. It was that's the game right there. It makes it really easy to play basketball when you can shoot threes and the other team can't.
I felt a little bad, too, on Friday night. Now granted, the game was in Missouri, so you were going to have a Mizzou crowd there, but there was no one there all weekend for the Canes. There were no Canes fans there.
0.
That's why it sucks that they put it in St. Louis, and the next round would have been in San Jose. You didn't get a break from that perspective. But again, they ran into a team that kind of kicked their asses in the second half. You wear it, and then you get super excited for where this program
Purdue's
is going.
always in the Sweet 16. They're really good every year. They played a really good team yesterday.
They get beat by a bad team in the Sweet 16 that goes on a run, or they get beat early. That's their MO. They always lose early.
This is the second time in history that everybody in the Sweet 16 is represented by a power conference.
Oh, really?
Yes, and the previous time was last year. Texas and Iowa are your Cinderellas. It's a little bit different.
No, you can't call Texas Cinderella. You can't do that.
One of the other great teams in Miami history, the Tim James team, also lost to Purdue. Gene Cady. I was not aware that Matt Painter, the Purdue coach, has coached the 21 years since Cady. I was not aware that Cady was gone for 21 years and they just simply replaced him. It's a little hard to replace the legend, correct? But he's just stayed there for 21 years. You guys have seen this Kelvin Sampson sound, right? Purdue doesn't have any preordained right to be as good as they are. And Kelvin Sampson was giving some sound for Houston where he's explaining that they're good despite what is, in today's day and age, the biggest handcuffs you can have in college sports.
We have a very poor athletic department. We're poor. We're poor when I got here, and we're still poor. We probably have the lowest budget of anybody in Power 4, and the way our recruiting is going, we have to stop at some point because we don't have enough money to keep bringing in really good players. And that's not easy for us to do. People ask about recruiting. Teams that have the best recruiting classes usually have the most money. That's the way it is today.
That's simplified. In case you heard the loud thudding sound about 90 seconds ago, that was Amin trying to sneak into the show quietly and dropping his computer on the floor. So Amin's first contribution to our work week is failing to sneak in quietly.
And he's in the worst seat possible. His computer's right in front of the mic. He can't get to the mic.
I can't even see him. All I see is the camera that's in front of me, so I simply can't see Amin. The camera that's in front of me...
Got that obstructed view.
No, it's not just an obstructed view. It makes it look like the camera in front of me has a human body and is wearing a sweatshirt, but the camera is right where Amin's face is, and it knocks out the entirety of his face. So I can't tell while I make fun of how he walked in. I can't even tell if he's laughing or if he's bothered by this, but he is indeed in the worst seat.
I'm the spaceship from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Hello, Dan. You're having a wonderful show today.
You just made it better. Thank you for being here. I want to update our tournament some because I got to get rid of a whole bunch of teams, but I don't want to just skip past what this University of Miami season was just because they lost at the end. We don't get many opportunities to sell. This would have been, in the last 5 years, their third appearance to the Sweet 16 if the last 50 seconds had been a little bit different, and sandwiched in there is the worst season in program history. And you don't get a lot of opportunities to have someone knocked out a little earlier than you'd like and still do the craps roll thing of good season, good roll, good season, hell of a run, because what they did was really impressive to watch. And I really just found myself enjoying the way they played basketball because they played so hard. Like they were clearly trying all the time. Let me ask you this question before we get to our tournament.
Dan, are you like me? I had to learn to like this style. Because obviously I'd prefer making free throws. Nothing makes a sports fan rip their hair out more than a team that just can't make free throws. Yeah. It's like the easiest bit of banter that a sports fan can yell from the stands.
Why don't they practice their free throws more?
Yeah, make your free throws. I could not shoot. The game has evolved to a point that people shoot from the outside, but this is another reason why I've kind of gravitated to college basketball, in that these teams have identities. Where in the pros, everyone kind of plays the same style.
That's one of the things I'm really enjoying about the tournament too. Like, they'll take mid-range jumpers. They're using the floor, you know?
Yeah, I don't have delusions of grandeur, right? I know what my team is. I had to get used to it. I'm like, all right, well, Jay says we're going to throw it at the shot clock and go get it and try to be more athletic and rebound these. That's who we are. Let's get a shiv and get after these guys. And this team made me adapt. I underestimated their talent, and man, thank God for them. Injected this program that felt a little lost after Jim Larinaga knew that the time was right to step away. I'm so excited for the future. I hope we can keep our coach. But this team was really, really fun. And honestly, it's so random. This was one of the best regular seasons ever. And Miami's not a joke of a basketball program, Dan. They especially in the 21st century, they have some bona fides. They went to an Elite Eight. They went to a Final Four. They've won this conference. They haven't won it in football. They've won it in basketball.
March is when hockey gets different. Every game suddenly feels bigger, the standings matter more, and somehow you're paying attention to 3 games at once because playoff math has entered your life. That also means a lot more time on your feet, whether it's walking to the rink or at home pacing around the couch during the third period. Like that's going to help your team hold on to a 1-goal lead. That's why Bombas sports socks have become a routine for me. They're cushioned where you need them to be, sweat wicking, supportive, and built to stay comfortable whether you're moving around all day or locked into a game that somehow goes into overtime. Again. And once I'm home, Bombas covers the rest too. Slippers, tees, underwear, all ridiculously comfortable. The kind of stuff you throw on and immediately understand why people keep talking about it. And for every item you buy, Bombas donates one to someone facing housing insecurity. One purchased, one donated. Head to bombas.com/Dan and use code DAN for 20% off your first purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/Dan, code DAN. March hockey is stressful enough. Your socks shouldn't be.
Folks, listen up. Quick break in the action. Are you counting down the days until payday? Instacash from Moneyline can help you access up to $500 of your hard-earned pay early. There's no interest, no credit check, and no monthly fees. So you can manage those in-between expenses with less stress. Download the Moneyline app and link your qualifying bank account to see what you qualify for. Moneyline. Make money easy. Instacash is subject to terms and eligibility requirements. Expedited delivery requires a turbo fee. See Moneyline.com.
Listeners, you know this about me. I am the only person in the shipping container who actually tries every day when it comes to my style. I genuinely care about clothes, I care about my wardrobe, and I've finally hit the age where I realize something, which is that you don't need more clothes, you just need better ones. A thoughtfully built wardrobe comes down to pieces that mix well and last. And that's where Quince shines, with their premium fabrics, considered design, everyday essentials that feel effortless season to season. And I'm telling you this because actively, as I speak to you right now, I am currently wearing one of my favorite Quince pieces, which is my Mongolian cashmere hoodie. And I'm talking to you about their lightweight cashmere sweaters, their short sleeve Mongolian cashmere polos, linen shorts, and tees in 100% Pima cotton. These are the pieces that actually make your wardrobe work. Right now, go to quince.com/Dan for free shipping and 365-day returns. That's a full year to build your wardrobe and love it. And you will. Now available in Canada too. Don't keep settling for clothes that don't last. Go to quince.com/Dan for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/Dan.
Dan Le Batard.
If Daniel Day-Lewis did it, you'd be jerking off all over yourself.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, I would be.
Aggressive
Come
description.
on. I mean, what is it? What is that?
No, I'm just saying.
No,
You know what?
That's
You're
me.
just saying what?
That's me.
That was
Daniel
something
Day-Lewis
brewed from
does something.
yesterday, yeah.
Hold on.
I see that photo of Daniel Day-Lewis looking like Lincoln before he's about to start filming Lincoln. And you know what I do, Amin?
Stugotz.
I jerk off all over myself. That's what I do.
Lincoln, who you outed the other
Don't
day?
make this a rejoin.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
You mentioned you're hoping that they can keep their coach. I mean, we'll probably learn something today or tomorrow about Hubert Davis and UNC. I think they're going to get rid of him. You're not worried that Jay Lucas, he's been a head coach, not just in Miami in a Power 4 school. No, but, I mean, he's been a head coach 1 year in his life. Like, UNC can't hire that.
Bon voyage.
A head coach for 1 year
Bloodlines,
can become
baby.
the head coach at UNC?
Bloodlines. He's the son of John Lucas, man. He's been coaching is in his blood. He's been a coach his whole life. They're gonna say all those things.
Do you think it stops him at all that he went to Duke and wouldn't want to coach at North Carolina, that he was a Duke guy? I understand it's a great job. I understand that. And one of the reasons, by the way, Mike, that I bring up the randomness of some of what happened, because the Hurricanes had three halves where they shot threes well and then didn't. But Miami, when leading at the half, was 18-2, and Purdue had only won 2 games all season when they trailed at the half. That was the third one all season that they won after they had trailed. But what do you think, Amin, or the camera that seems to indicate that Amin is here? You think that Jay Lucas would forsake Duke? I mean, that is the job that you would do it for, but it's also the job that would test that allegiance the most because of how much Duke and North Carolina hate each other. Like, if you're going to betray Duke...
But he's not a Duke alum.
No, he was just an assistant there.
Okay.
His loyalty is not to that
And
program.
let's just, for the sake of argument, let's just assume he was a Duke alum. There's only a handful of these jobs that are on that level, right? It's North Carolina, it's Kansas, it's UCLA, Kentucky. I'd throw Duke in there. So, yes, absolutely. Forgetting about the fact that Miami is a smaller program compared to just regular powerhouse basketball programs. But then when you talk about among the powerhouse basketball programs, this is the elite of the elite of the elite, the blue bloods. This is the thing that, money aside, just recruits on name alone. You can never pass off that job if you're at Miami or any other kind of smaller program like that, unless you thought that the Duke job could be available, but it doesn't seem that way with the job that John Shire has been doing.
Jeremy, would you do me the favor of looking up the origins of blue bloods and why royalty is known as blue bloodline? Because we use that phrase all the time, and I'm not actually sure where it comes from or what its origins are. When I mention that the Hurricanes play really hard and are a tough basketball team, Eric Spoelstra says of his present 4-game losing streak, we're going through a little bit of pain. It's going to make us better. Is it? Like, I feel the Heat are kind of topped out on pain and achieving. And when I think of tough and playing hard, this isn't a problem of playing hard. Like, this is like, how much better is this team actually going to be through anything that he can do or any effort that can be applied? Like, when he says, I generally agree with that statement, going through pain will allow certain people willing to embrace it to grow and certain teams to grow. But how's this going to make them any better, losing on a tip shot there on the day that Kevin Durant passes Michael Jordan on the all-time scoring list?
It's a classic Spoism, is really what it is. Doesn't mean it's not true, but it's a classic thing that Eric.
Well, I think it's not true, though. I'm saying it's not true. Like, I'm saying in this instance, they've suffered all the suffering that they're going to suffer.
You're right, because as a result of the current 4-game losing streak, it's looking pretty likely they're going to finish in the 9-10 in the play-in, which, of course, means the best you could do is finish 8th if you wind up winning in the play-in. And no one's going to say, hey, remember when we lost all 7 of those games? Because they're going to. All 7 of those games in that stretch after the 7-game win streak against good teams, it helped us. Like, we're better off for it. Well, no, you just lost in the play-in. Like, your season's over. They're not going to be better for it.
Well, but one of the stats, though, that lets you know that their effort is sort of maxed out, as is their achievement, is the quote that he says, our defense for the season is top 4, top 5. But against playoff teams, it drops out of the top 15. Because they're doing the most they can with the people that they have, and this is maxed out. And it's going to lose to the better teams on the road.
Isn't that how all stats work, though? You beat up on the bad teams and you do
No, the
decent
good
against
teams
the good
are good against the good teams, too.
But I would bet even they are better against the bad teams and just do fine against the good teams.
Right, I'd like the Heat to do fine against the good teams.
They've beat the best team in each conference, for what it's worth.
Okay, but like Spo just said there, their defense is completely average, 15th. When they're playing the good teams. I mean, they got some good wins.
That's not bad. Like, that's the point. Like, if you said...
But they're elite against the bad ones.
Yeah.
That's what makes an elite defense.
Every season-long stat is built on the corpses of all the bad teams you beat up, right? And so if we were to create the ultimate strength of schedule where the Heat only play the best teams all the time and never play the bad teams, and you told me they're 15th as compared to everyone else's defense who get to play the bad teams, well, then that's pretty good.
I mean, I'll ask this out loud. I don't know the answer to it. The Heat are playing the Spurs tonight on national TV, so I'll use the Spurs as an example. Do you think all the Spurs numbers are just average against the good teams in the league?
No, but
it's probably significantly better.
There's a reason why the Spurs have like the 3rd best record in the league.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone is saying this is one of the best teams in the league. We're just saying that, hey, being 15th against all the elite teams, not bad when that 15th comes in the context of everyone else's rating includes playing bad teams. And so, the idea here is you guys are like, oh, they're going to end up 9-10. They're a game and a half behind 5.
I know, but in this stretch here, they have 3 more games tonight. San Antonio back-to-back against Cleveland. Like, they're going to lose 7 in a row.
Minnesota went to Boston yesterday and without Anthony Edwards, and they won. I was like, there's no chance. There was no chance. They went out and won that game. Like, there's no foregone conclusions. About 2 weeks ago, we were making jokes about the Atlanta Hawks have been 500 for the last 5 years. And now they're on like a 12-game winning streak. A week ago, we were talking about the best records post-All-Star break. The Heat and the Magic were on that list. But then a 4-game losing streak, it changes it. But the standings are so condensed.
Jimmy, you can't say in the background. The Heat are sitting in 9th in the Eastern Conference. Like, you're making some great point about the Heat. They're 9th.
Yep.
They're 9th.
The take of don't play any of the bad teams, just play the good teams. Well, that take didn't make any sense.
The things that are plaguing this franchise at present are something that Stan Van Gundy always used to point out and people would ignore. He's like, why do we ignore the upcoming schedule? Why, with these winning streaks, do we ignore who they've played during the winning streak when they're beating Brooklyn twice and the Wizards? And now this last one, I'm trying to think, okay? You go to Houston and you lose on a tip-in buzzer beater. You are a team that has blown 33 double-digit leads since last season, more than any other team in the sport, and yet that one felt worse to me than anything that I could remember outside of that Utah loss at home this season, because when you lose at the buzzer and you're reeling and you've got tough games coming up, I'm trying to think this season, regular season, give me one that hurt the way that one did, where you're playing a team you know is good, you're trying to get right, you're trying to get better in the middle of a losing streak, and you make the stop against the guy who's now 5th passing Michael Jordan on the all-time scoring list, but a tip-in beats you.
Well, but also, you got to leave out the worst part of it is the possession right before it was a miracle. The Heat have no timeouts, and they stole the inbounds pass and scored with 5 seconds left to take the lead. That shit never happens. And then you get the final play where, yes, Bam, incredible defense on Durant, and you still get the tip in at the buzzer.
In a 30-20 game.
That
for
shit
Bam
never
too.
happens. They stole the inbounds.
Give me one that felt worse than that one this season for you, Jeremy. Give me one as someone who cares and wants to be right about, because Mike's saying a lot with that smirk. There's a lot being said with that smirk back there on
Mike's staying absolutely quiet.
I know, but that smirk speaks volumes there. Your silence is you're enjoying that silence in a way you normally don't enjoy silence.
That's right.
They missed a 3 that could have won a game in Boston on a Friday night where they lost by 2 and they had mucked things up with Boston, but this one's more deflating because now you just see where the standings are, right? Like, if you get that win, you win against Houston, you snap the losing streak. Even if you lose tonight, it's not 5 in a row. It's okay, a loss against the Spurs. You could feel differently, and that one game may make the difference, and you could see it play out that way, when really the games that make the difference are the losses against the Jazz or the Kings earlier in the year.
Those are the ones that hurt.
Yes.
Like losing at the buzzer to the Rockets, it sucks, but it's like, hey, it was a coin flip. Losing to, was it the Magic a few nights ago? That was like, all right, close enough game. Losing to the Lakers, even though that wasn't a coin flip game, but you were there, you were competitive up until the end. We lost to the Jazz when they were actively trying to lose.
Right.
That's the one that keeps Spo up at night.
Dan, I had the dumbest experience watching this Heat Rockets game. So Saturday night, I'm watching Villanova, Nebraska. Instead of watching the Heat game, I'm recording the Heat game, which, by the way, that Vanderbilt, Nebraska game was as good a college basketball game I have ever seen.
You put the cassette in to record it? What'd you do there?
That game was incredible. So I'm recording the Heat game, and I'm really tired after the college basketball. So I'm like, I'm just going to watch the Heat in the morning, all right? Not knowing who won, of course. Why would I want it spoiled for me, right? I wake up in the morning. I don't know what happened in the Heat game. You all know at this point the Heat lost the buzzer. I wake up in the morning. I put on the Heat game. I put the cassette in the VCR. I press the play button, and I'm watching the Heat game, okay? And it gets down to the end. The Heat make that steal. They score. I'm excited. I jumped off the couch. I called to my son, Jordan, come down. Come check this out. And he comes into the room, and I show him the replay. I hit the rewind button, and I show him the replay of the Heat scoring. I go, look, they stole the inbounds pass. And he goes, is that the end of the game? I go, no. The game's going to end right now. It's 5 seconds left. The Rockets have the ball. And then the Rockets score, and he just laughs and walks out the room.
There's something about college hoops this time of year where you tell yourself you're just going to casually watch one game, and suddenly your entire night is gone. That happened to me the other night. I was planning to stay home and keep a game on in the background, maybe pretend I wasn't checking scores every 5 minutes. Then a text comes in. We've got multiple screens set up. That's how they get you. So I said, yeah. I grabbed a pack of Miller Lite on the way. A little while later, nobody's casually watching anything. Somebody's yelling because their bracket is already cooked. Somebody else suddenly cares deeply about a school they hadn't thought about in 10 years. And a game that looked over is somehow tied late. You take a sip, you look around, and realize, yeah, this was absolutely the right move. That's why I reach for a Miller Lite. It's clean, refreshing, easy to drink, brewed for taste with simple ingredients. The original light beer since 1975, and still hitting different. Cheers to legendary moments with Miller Lite. Great taste, 96 calories. Go to MillerLite.com/Dan to find delivery options near you. Or you can pick up some Miller Lite pretty much anywhere they sell beer. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. 96 calories and 3.2 carbs per 12 ounces.
You guys hear that? That's the sound of my calendar flipping over to March. Yes, I know March is more than halfway over. Don't bog me down with details. Just stick with me here because March means one thing. It means college basketball insanity. DraftKings Sportsbook, the number one sportsbook for live betting, is built for March. The tournament is unpredictable. Kind of like me, but the rewards are guaranteed. And DraftKings is delivering some of the most generous rewards on the market. Are you new to DraftKings? Bet just $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code DAN. That's code DAN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets instantly. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Hey, who wants to hear me do that crazy noise again? I do.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 1-800-MY-RESET. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org on behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas. Wager tax pass-through may apply in Illinois. 21 and over in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see sportsbook.draftkings.com/promos. Limited time offer.
America leads the world in medicine development. It matters. We get new medicines first, nearly 3 years faster. 5 million Americans go to work because we make medicines here at home. And not relying on other countries keeps us safe. But China is racing to overtake us. Will we let them, or will we choose to stay ahead? When America leads, America cures. Let's tell Washington to keep us in the lead.
Learn how at americacures.com. Paid for by Pharma.
Don Le Batard.
Doesn't matter anywhere. We could do it in Buffalo or Baltimore, either.
You say you could do it where?
Anywhere.
Oh, whoa.
Oh, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
He said he could do it anywhere.
That's crazy, Murder. Murder, tell him.
Stugotz. I had no idea Amin had that in his locker.
That might be his best.
That's crazy.
I'm not kidding. That's crazy, killer.
It's 2 Americans dead. You don't get it.
This is the Don Le Batard Show with the Stugotz.
I just realized at the end of the story, you tape games without the knowledge of what happened in the game?
You tape games and get the knowledge and then watch it?
Yes.
No.
The result is secondary. I want to see what happened.
No, I want to see what happened and watch it with the same suspense that I would the previous night, which makes the experience even dumber because I spent my whole morning leading up to the Heat losing at the buzzer.
You avoid the news and avoid everyone?
Yeah. Well, avoid everyone. I'm at my house. I got people coming in and out.
No, your son doesn't. Your son maybe say, "Dad, well, it was a crazy game last night."
They know. They know not to say anything.
You don't go on social media?
No, I stayed away from it.
I thought he was going to tell you how they lost anyway. And then before it actually happened, and that crushes you. That's what I thought was going to happen.
Why would I record a game, know what happens, and then watch it? Especially if my team lost at the buzzer.
To find out how it got there.
No. No.
I'm assuming watches games the way a scout would watch some games. Like if Amin's taping something and rewatching it, I'm assuming that that's the way he's doing it, especially if he insists on being armed with the result before he starts.
I watch Heat and Panther games hours later all the time, never knowing the result.
Like living in a bubble where you're immune from reality.
Yeah.
I told you Hank Azaria does that. In order to exercise, he avoids all social media for often days, trying to make sure that a Knicks game, he can watch it 2 days later without knowing.
Like a Knicks Suns game?
Big much. I mean, days later?
Yeah.
Is he watching Knicks Wizards from last night, like next week? Like, come on, guys.
I have a couple of questions, though, for you, Amin, before I update our tournament real quick. You mentioned that Celtics loss, Jeremy. 2 of those, again, I'm going to say it again. The Heat have blown, since last season, 33 double-digit leads. It's more than any team in the sport. 2 of them are against the Celtics, who can erase leads quickly because of how they make and take threes. 22-point lead against the Celtics, 19-point lead against the Celtics. What do you make of that, Amin? Like, what is that? Is there something telling about that?
Well, Amin, you could argue you got to be good enough to get those double-digit leads.
That's a good point. If you were a bad team, you wouldn't be good enough to be up double digits in order to blow the double-digit lead. No, I mean, look, this is the part where Mike being smug, I'm like, I don't get what your point is. They should have a better roster. No shit, we all know they should have a better roster. But again, My point has been consistent against Mike for the last couple of years. You act like it's a choice. They're like, no, this is good enough. Well, most of the time it's not. It's you're trying to actively improve your roster with other trade partners who are not willing to go along with what you want to do.
No, I'm not saying ever that they chose this. The one thing that they are making an active decision against is, packing it totally and we got no shot, let's tank. That's not what this organization does. I have to, as a Heat fan, I have to understand that. No, they're not that good because they failed in the pursuits of upgrading the roster.
Yeah, and
I feel like his smugness is at Jeremy because Jeremy thinks they're good enough.
I'm not smug. The season's playing out the way that we all thought it would. Well, most of us thought it would after the trade deadline, where they kind of stood pat. They're a playing team. I don't know. Maybe we can get excited depending on the matchup in the first round, but 5 games ago, Jeremy was demanding an apology, and
that was also because Bam scored 83 points.
No, but I also knew the schedule. That's a real tough schedule against teams that are better than them, and that's played out. And now they have Wemby. I'm not going to demand an apology. This doesn't make me happy. We'll go into the offseason, try to upgrade, and play for the things that this franchise typically plays for.
What do you do, Amin, with the fact that Norman Powell is now coming off the bench? He's got a totally redundant skill set and stats as Tyler Hero, and he's saying, look, I'm a starter in this league. I'll do what they want me to do, but in terms of making them better, he's not making them better if all you're doing is the redundancy of Hero will get the numbers or Powell will get the numbers, and they're going to be similar numbers.
Yeah, that's a tough part when you have redundancies. Like, is it the role or is it the person? And the reality is, Spo's always been a tinkerer. He's not a guy who's married to this is the lineup and that's it. So this is par for the course that guys move in and out of the lineup.
It's par for the course, but that's an all-star that's on your bench.
Sure. But it's not on your bench. It's just not starting, which is these are the semantics of basketball, right? Very rarely does starting ever have anything to do with them more than just the honor that I got to hear my name called. Every once in a while there are players that, I remember we had this with Grant Hill when I was in Phoenix. Grant Hill, his second season with us, we're going to bring him off the bench and let Matt Barnes start. And what Grant Hill discovered is, I'm 100 years old, I warm up before a game, and then you tell me to sit on the bench, I lock up. And so now when I get back in the game, my body's completely cold, and I couldn't do it. It had nothing to do with the ego of it. It's just that he physically could not go through the process of warming up, cooling down, and then go out there and be effective. But for the most part, what Norman Powell is talking about is the pride of being, hey, man, I'm a starter in this league. How can I come off the bench? And the reality is, hey, man, we're trying to make things work. We're trying to figure out something that works here. And, other than hurting your feelings, like Jeremy said, you're playing big minutes. It's not like you're playing 22 minutes a night. You're closing a lot of the times. So it's so what are we talking about? Just you didn't hear your name called?
But moving forward, into next year, because Norman Powell is obviously going to be a free agent, you can't pay Tyler Hero and whatever Norman Powell is going to cost moving forward.
Even if you could,
when they're the same guy.
Even if you could. Yeah. Even if we have.
No, you could. No, you could. Yeah, but you don't want to.
Well, yeah, it doesn't make sense.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
So you can either do one of two things. You can either engage Norman Powell in a sign and trade deal and see what happens out there, or you say Tyler Hero under contract with a now a very decent looking number.
Yeah.
When he signed it, everyone lost their mind. Now it's this is actually a really good deal. You go out there and you see what you can get for him. Absolutely, that's a prudent thing to do, but it's kind of foolish to sit here and say, well, I'm going with this guy or that guy. You got to see what the options are.
Actually, the thing that they should have done, they should have had the foresight, and it would have been a balls move, but they should have had the foresight to say, you know what? We could sell really high on Norman Powell at this trade deadline. That's if they it would have been a balls move. But that's really what they should have done.
It's a balls move, but you know what? End up doing it sends a message that we are not all in on competing this year. And like Mike, that goes back to what Mike said. This organizationally, the decree is we don't tank, we don't circle the wagons. We continue to fight, and no matter wherever it lands, we take our chances as long as we got a shot in the postseason.
People felt the same way about Andrew Wiggins at the deadline, right? Which was you have a guy with a player option at $30 million going into next year.
He never plays.
And he hasn't played for the last 4 games. He's been their second best player this season. He's had a career year. He's been really, really good. And without him over these games, you've missed him as a wing defender and another offensive threat. Also, blue blood, it stems from Spanish nobility. So for the folks who did not have to go out and work, their skin was lighter and you could see their blue veins in turn blue blood.
That's interesting. I have a question for Dan, Jeremy, and Zaz.
In that order?
Collectively, you can answer it. Like, I don't want to be a tanking franchise. Yeah. I don't. I think that there is a difference in one isolated year to know that, all right, we don't have it this year. Let's kind of pack it in, reassess. You can couch it by saying, let's develop some guys. I don't think that's tanking. If they looked at this year, said, we're not really going anywhere that we want to go, let's try to build up some assets. I think that's a mid-season evaluation that you make, and for the better of your franchise, you try to develop these other pieces. I don't think that makes you a tanking franchise. I really don't. I don't think that's counterculture.
I just look at the success that they've had with the guys that they've drafted, where they've drafted them. Like I heard Tony say in the background, like, oh, it's a good draft. Every draft is like, oh, you can get this guy here, you can get this guy here. If you're drafting at 11th or 12th because you decided to tank after the deadline, I don't know the difference that's making for the Heat in particular from, say, drafting 15th. You know, that's where they've acquired all of these guys who have overachieved or are really talented young players. Khalil Ware is very, very talented. Kasparas Jakučionis has looked really good for a 19-year-old point guard. So I don't know the difference between those two things. And personally, whether it's from, you know, someone who covers a team, but really even just from the fan perspective, like, I'd rather watch the rest of the season knowing my team can win on any given night. That game against Houston's entertaining.
Doesn't matter what the fans want. The person who runs your franchise is 82 years old and over his dead body. Like, he's not going to tank. Like, he's not going to spend this portion of his life trying to build something for 5 years from now. Like, he wants to see if they could do what they did against Giannis in the first round again, and he's going to be wrong, but this you got to blow out Pat Riley if you want to lose on purpose, or if you're not going to try.
Right, but I guess the disconnect for me is I'm not suggesting something that's an affront to your franchise's DNA. I'm just, rather than do this for 3 years, I'm saying let's do this for a couple of months and put yourself in position where you can be more aggressive this offseason and take into consideration the fact that you are 82. You're on a treadmill right now. Let's hop off. I think that's a quicker way to get to where everybody wants to go.
I do wonder how much did the experience, because they have tanked before. Okay, they did in 2008. And I wonder how much the experience of it that resulted in Michael Beasley, which flat out did not work. Like, I wonder how much that changed their MO, that they're never going to do it again.
I'd say it's something else. I would say that greatness usually doesn't have very much self-awareness about decline. Greatness has overcome so many odds that it always thinks that it can overcome the next ones. Like, I don't generally think that there's a lot of self-awareness where Pat Riley is saying, no, I can't do this. I don't have a chance because he's always had a chance. When he was a player, when he was in college, when in every role he's ever had, he's thought he's had a chance. Why would he be someone who would have self-awareness about my team isn't a team that can win when they won as an 8 seed against a 1 when it was Giannis?
Isn't Blue Bloods the show that Stan Van Gundy watches like every Tuesday night on CBS?
No, that's the CSIs and the
Tom
Chicago's.
Right? I'm with Amin. He's definitely a fan of that too.
Donnie Wahlberg.
Tom Selleck.
I think I saw JB on it. Jaylen Brown was on an episode.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
By the way, I think we need to give Stan Van Gundy a shout out here because we all rolled our eyes last week when he told us the best shooter in the league is Luke Kennard. And Luke Kennard drilled that 3 at the buzzer against the Magic on Saturday night for the Lakers.
I sent Tony a video of Luke Kennard hitting the side of the backboard earlier in that game with a shot from the corner.
He also said that Bam Adebayo was like the 13th best center in the NBA.
He did not say that. It was attributed to him by somebody here who betrayed
you.
Him. No, I didn't do that. It was somebody.
Sure.
Scalabrine came up to Stan and said, you said that because you guys lied to Scalabrine and said that Stan had said that.
2 teams, 1 cup. The primetime stage is set for the TGL presented by SoFi Finals. Los Angeles Golf Club versus Tigers Jupiter Links. Keep up, it's playoffs. Tune in Monday, March 23rd, 9 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2, and Tuesday, March 24th, 7 p.m. Eastern on ESPN and on the ESPN app.